How's it going, guys? This is Eric back again with another video, and today we're going to be doing a 6 month later review on the LG V20 to determine whether or not it's still relevant in 2017. Now, this phone was released in October, I believe it was October 28th of 2016, and I wanted to go over with you guys to see if this phone can still hold its own going on to 2017, stacked up against the S8, S8 Plus, and the future Note 8. So let's jump right down into it. Uh, let's talk about the features of this phone as far as specs wise. It's got a 5.7-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 1440 by 2560, and it's got 513 pixels per inch. It's got about a 72.4 screen to body ratio, and it's covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 4. Now, this is a really nice display. The colors are accurate. It's very crisp and detailed, and it could get pretty bright as far as brightness goes and checking outside in the sun. So that's a really good plus on this phone. It's got a really good display. It's not as crisp and bright as a Samsung phone, but it'll still get the job done. LG has really improved on their screens. The second display has a resolution of 160 by 1040, and it's a 2.1-inch display, and it holds all your notifications, quick toggles, recent apps, and shortcuts and stuff like that, media control, volume, and this always on display stays on all the time to show you your time and date and battery and notifications. The only issue I have with that is if you leave a notification on there too long, it'll have a screen burn-in on the corner where that notification was. It's running Android 7.0 Nougat, which is also future-proofing this phone. A lot of phones are coming out with Nougat now, and this was one of the first phones to come out with Nougat out of the box, and I believe the next one was the Google Pixel. And so that's a really cool thing. A lot of phones are doing that, and it sort of gives it a chance in 2017 stacked up against these new phones. It's got the Snapdragon 820 processor. It's a quad-core processor with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and it's an older processor. It was released in 2016, I believe, with the S7 and S7 Edge, and it's sort of been the processor of the year along the A21, which is like 10% faster than the A20, not much of a difference. But it's still a good processor. As far as handling intense 3D games, it'll do okay. There's probably a little bit of a stutter on there, but as far as that, it's got the Adreno 530 GPU, and that's for all your graphics and stuff like that. It's got 64 gigs of online storage, which is another good thing for 2017. Most phones in 2016 started off with 32 gigs, and I think that is insufficient for today's users as far as taking pictures and consuming media and stuff like that. 64 gigs is the minimum phone should come with, and 128 and etc. And that's one good feature that makes this phone hold its own. It's also got micro SD card expansion for up to 256 gigabytes, so that's another cool feature that this phone has that a lot of phones don't. Camera wise, there is a dual camera system in the back. The main shooter is a 16 megapixel with f1.8 aperture, and the wide angle is an 8 megapixel fixed focus with an f2.1 aperture. Now, the main camera has laser autofocus, I believe it's face detection and optical image stabilization, while the 8 megapixel wide angle camera is a fixed focus camera. The front facing is a 5 megapixel wide angle camera. You can switch between normal view and wide view, which is really, really nice. Pictures are a little bit grainy and low light, but it will get the job done. Sound wise, you got a 32-bit quad DAC on board for your audio coming out of the headphone jack, which yes, it does include, and this provides excellent sound quality when you're listening to music. As far as speaker goes, there's a single firing mono speaker at the bottom. And getting back into the music part, when you plug in a set of headphones, it'll bring up 3 different options as far as the type of headphones you get. If you plug in normal headphones, you're going to get normal audio device, and this makes sure you have a natural sound, wider dynamic range. If you plug in auxiliary cable, it's going to go to external audio mode, which bumps up the volume a little bit more. And of course, if you plug in a good pair of high impedance headphones, it's going to go to high impedance mode, and that mode is the loudest mode you could get this phone in. It helps the amp and the power and everything to help drive those speakers or headphones. So that's another cool function, and that's one of the features that drove me to get this phone, was the audio, because I'm really big into music and listening to audio files. So this phone is for you power users out there who like to consume media, record videos, record audio, and listen to music. This phone is for you. To go along to the battery, it's got a 3200 milliamp removable battery on the back. It is not water resistant due to that, but a lot of phones are getting rid of the removable battery, and that's a shame. For me, I guess it could go either way, but I know a lot of people would like to have a removable battery. For me, I like water resistance and stuff like that, which is one thing I wish this phone had. Other features, it's got Bluetooth 4.2. It's got a USB Type-C charger with version 2.0. And as far as that, you got your fingerprint sensor / power button on the back. You got your camera setup over here with your dual flash and all your sensors. Along the left-hand side, you got your volume rocker, which is one piece. Along the top, you have your IR blaster, which is really nice. A lot of phones aren't including that anymore to control your TVs, VCRs, and DVD players and Blu-rays, whatever you want to control with that. You got a mic. On the right-hand side, you just have your battery door release button, and at the bottom you have your headphone jack. You got another mic, and you got your charging port, and then you have your speaker. There's like 3 mics on this phone to for your recording and to do hi-fi audio, which is another cool features we're going to jump into now. In your audio mode, you click over here and you have the option to control where you want the microphone to record, whether it's more in front of you or behind you, and that's a really cool feature. And you could also record in hi-fi, which if you click that on, you're also being able to record in hi-fi audio, which you'll get excellent playback, and your video resolution, you can record up to 4K as well. So there's a lot of features in manual mode as far as controlling everything, and you also have the wide angle feature to get more into that picture. Like I said, the 8 megapixels sort of steps down the quality of it, so you're not going to get crisp pictures as you would with the main camera, but you have all your options down here. And for your camera taking mode too, you have all your manual options, and you can take pretty quick photos. And this phone takes really nice photos, especially if you tweak it. In auto mode, it'll still take good pictures, and it's still a fast camera. So that's a lot of cool features that this phone has as far as taking pictures, and you can see pictures are pretty decent. And you could also step it up by doing manual mode. But as far as that, I think this phone is a good contender for 2017. Especially money-wise, this phone is probably going about $500 on Amazon, maybe a little bit more, and that's compared to the SA Plus, which is about $850, and the regular SA, which is about $750. And if you have the money, sure, go ahead and get an S8, but if you want to try to save money and still want an excellent phone, the V20 is the way to go on that. You get all your features, you get a good solid build, you don't get water resistance, but you get a removable battery, and this battery lasts I want to say about a day and a half I've been able to get with it. But as far as playing games, I don't play a lot of games, so if you play games you'll probably get less. But it's a good solid phone. It's got an excellent build quality. It doesn't really push the envelope as far as design goes, but and that camera bump is really unsightly, but it's got a good feel in the hand. It feels great. It's durable. It's military grade drop resistance, so this phone is going to be durable as far as drops goes. I haven't dropped this phone, so it's pretty much still brand new. Other than the camera bump, the glass cracking, I've heard that could happen, so be careful with that. You might want to get a case that protects that. But as far as going into 2017, this phone is holding its own. A lot of people are still liking this phone. I did a video of this phone versus the S8 Plus, and a lot of people are still in love with this phone. So I just thought I'd do a 6 months later uh, to see if this phone is still relevant. Wanted to see what you guys thought. As far as, would you still buy this phone? Is it still a strong competitor to the phones coming out nowadays? And just wanted to see if you want to comment down below. Give me your thoughts of what you think the LG, you know, if you still think it's still relevant in 2017. Would you buy one? And if you have one, how much you love it. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.